No slate. Period.
Rolling,
No
you sound
slate.
good.
No slate.
Hold on, wait. Only because y'all don't be knowing I'm here. And this not even gonna make it in the episode. But
It is.
This shit the episode, nigga.
Oh, I bet.
Why is that? Yes, it is, nigga.
Alright, we live.
We live. We live, baby. You know what song I can't get this song out of my head. It's from TikTok. It's like, West Oakland, bitch. Tuesday. I like a nigga, like the
Low key.
Yeah,
What is it?
lay low. Jet set. Me and my man, we on an island, how? No.
Back shots.
Back shots.
Balcony.
That is like a great song.
Palm trees.
No, it really is just great.
Like, it just really make you want to be on an island with your man. Like,
West Oakland, bitch.
Tuesday. You know that's her name?
Name Tuesday, yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah, I had to do a whole deep dive. I was like, wait, because the first,
would.
first one I saw, she was like, oh, I put my stepmom on a record. I was like, you put your
That was
stepmom
a TikTok
on
I saw too.
Yeah, I was like, you put your stepmom on a record, and then I kept seeing the voice popping up in people's videos. I'm like, what? So yeah, I had to do a little research. I was like, yo, that's really a stepmom.
It just give like baddie auntie. Like,
It really do.
Like rich auntie. Like, I'm on an island.
I'm
with
on
my
an island,
man.
how?
Palm trees, ocean breeze, back shots on a
Balcony.
balcony. Like, come on. Like, who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that?
I think I just love people from Oakland. I went out to San Francisco, what was this, a year ago, to visit my grandfather because he has kids out there and stuff. And it's just fun. I don't know. It's something about like the whole Bay Area. Like I just really like the energy out there.
I have family in Oakland.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get me to come out there for years. I'm like, might happen sooner than I think now.
Yeah, no, it's a vibe out there. I love it out in I love California in general.
I've never been.
To Cali in general?
In general, I've never been.
I prefer the Bay Area over LA. I think LA is like LA is cool if you're trying to get some work done, if you're trying to get your business done, you know, shit like that. But I think as far as like, I mean, you can live out there too. Don't get me wrong, because I think LA in a certain area is a vibe. Like you're going to Simply Wholesome, you know, like
I want to go there.
Yeah,
so
like that would be more
bad.
your vibe, like being with the niggas and shit. But like, I think the like Hollywood, LA part of like you would be like, okay, this is.
All I'm saying is everybody who I know, like people who I know personally that have moved to LA, they always came back.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, it got rough out there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fucking expensive. But everywhere is expensive.
Gas
now.
is like, well, shit, our gas is almost as much as theirs now.
Yeah.
Like,
it is, yeah.
I've never paid $4.50
for some gas.
for some gas. Like, it's kind of crazy. But
blame your president. We haven't acknowledged the camera at all.
oh my
Hi.
God, hi.
Hi. How are you? My name's Kia. Welcome.
I'm Rissy.
Welcome to the Cool Theory podcast. We didn't look at the camera. What? We just.
But this is like regular.
We locked in.
We locked
in. What Pete at? Pete. Oh, yeah,
right
Pete. There he chilling.
Hey.
Hello. No, when I had texted you, I was like, Pete, we're not gonna be in this. He was like, bro, what? Like, he was so sad. He was so sad. He was like, bro, what? I was expecting you guys. I'm like, oh, Pete.
Life was lifing, man.
No, really, life was lifing.
But
I mean, whatever. Like, movies get delayed, things happen. Like, shit happens.
we're back.
But we're back.
We
Welcome.
got some shit for y'all today.
This is episode
Tree, trash,
Tres.
trois. I'm gonna make this a thing. I'm gonna say
The French shit gotta go, bro. Like, the French shit really gotta go.
I'm gonna make this a thing.
I don't know if I got something against French people because when I was out in Paris, somebody tried to steal my phone, but
Oh,
yeah, they tried to like do me with the little fake shit. I was like, yo, son.
I heard they be bugging out there with the pickpocketing and stuff.
Them in Italy? Woo.
Yeah, I heard
You
it
gotta
be
hit them with the
wild.
wop, wop, wop. Not fucking up. But yes, welcome to episode
Trois.
of the Cool Theory podcast. Today we are going to be talking about, so remember last episode we said we were going to touch on the 80s, but we was also going to like spin the block on that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is that spin the block episode. This is when we get nerdy. Today we're going to talk about the directors and the films that, if you ask me, is what separates like Black films from like Black cinema. I feel like this is the moment where we're fully entering an era of like, we're finding who we are in a cinematic world that wasn't necessarily created for us. Cause like, movies have always kind of excluded us. We've always been independent. even if you go back to the 30s and 40s when Black people were starting to make films, it was always outside of the system of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing that even with people doing things independently, because most of these films are independent or they just, you know, it's not necessarily like through the system like a Steven Spielberg or, you know, someone like that. But like they were quite literally redefining Hollywood.
Yeah.
They will tell you it's just Black Hollywood, but it was Hollywood. So I guess like our little play name for today is the Black Auteur. I should probably explain what an auteur is.
Yeah,
But
I think you should.
so an auteur, it's mainly used in like the filmmaking space, and it's mainly used for men, which is weird. But like an auteur is someone who, they're not just a filmmaker. They don't just make movies. This is someone who quite literally, they create an entire ecosystem, an entire world around their artistic movement or whatever they're doing. So like, yes, Ryan Coogler would be considered an auteur. Spike Lee, who we're going to talk about today, would be considered an auteur. Quentin Tarantino on just a regular film level is considered an auteur. Someone that just, when you see their work, you know what it is. They've written books or done other projects outside of filmmaking, and they've created their own universe in a sense. And I think it's important to talk about these directors and these films in this light, because so often when people talk about cinema, like, yeah, they talk about Spike and they might throw John Singleton in there, but there's so many other stories that kind of get left out of the arc of Hollywood and filmmaking overall. And just by like watching, this is the first time I watched every single film we got on the list. So I'm like, yeah. Even though for some of them I've seen them before or whatever, I watched every single film we had on this list. And I can tell you, like, I was like, yeah, this is the moment where I was like, oh, niggas was making cinema. This was not film. This was cinema. So, yeah, I think we should just jump right into our first auteur, should we?
Oh, I think so.
So, like I just mentioned, auteurism, and you can't speak about Black auteurs without speaking about Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Spike Lee, but from Brooklyn, went to Morehouse. He directed his first student film in 1983. You learn more about him as we speak on the films. So I think that's what's cool about us kind of glancing over that. But I think another fun fact is his cinematographer, who he's worked with for years, especially on his first couple of like really iconic films, is Ernest Dickerson, who's from Newark, New Jersey. So shout out to Ernest. But he's also on this list of a film we'll be discussing that he directed. So let's just jump right into Spike. So his first feature film is She's Gotta Have It, which comes out in 1986.
Yep.
Do you want to explain like the plot of She's Gotta Have It?
Sure. So it's basically the protagonist named Nola Darling. And and I guess in shorter terms, it's basically about her. Would you call it polygamy? I wouldn't really call it a polygamous.
Hotels, maybe? On some Jasmine Sullivan shit?
Yeah. Yeah, well, she had a roster.
Yeah, she did.
She had a roster of her favorite three, you know, and she
Always gotta keep a
rotated them,
keep a
you know.
couple
And I think for me personally, this movie was really important.
Yeah.
Because I had never seen a Black woman portrayed in that light, with having multiple partners, and they're all obsessed with her.
Yeah, they love her now.
It's not the opposite where you see like the guy having all the girls. It's the girl having all the guys, and they're all equally obsessed with her. Even so, to the point that she was able to have Thanksgiving dinner with all of them. And it's like, y'all all love me. Let's just love each other. Like, it was just so cool. Like,
and it's shot so cool too. He shot it on a 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
I think that's what also makes it feels very like, once again, like this documentarian, like almost like you're looking into something you probably shouldn't be. It feels very confessional. Like,
yeah, especially with like her monologues.
Yeah.
And she's in the bedroom and stuff.
It definitely feels very like almost like an early reality show.
For the love of Nola.
For the love of Nola. For the love of Nola is
For the love of Nola. Because that's literally what it was.
Yeah, it was. But this film is really important into Spike's career because, as we say, it's his first feature directorial debut. He filmed it for $175,000, which in today's terms, I mean, even back then, it doesn't sound like a lot of money. But it grossed $7.1 million. really launching Spike Lee's career. It was distributed by Island Pictures, but it was written, directed, and produced by Spike Lee. So this is an independent film.
Yeah.
Following in the footsteps of our good old buddy Melvin Van Peebles. At least he just didn't catch gonorrhea from his film. So there's one festival that you're going to hear us talk about a lot. It's called the Cannes Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I can explain that. So within the film world, Cannes is like, it's like the elite of the elite. It's like if American Idol, but with class and with film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you go out to France, and of course your film has to be selected to be part of it. They have different departments and programs that it can like go for, like international film or X, Y, and Z. A lot of established and rising directors will debut their film there. A lot of them will have panels there. But for a rising director, it is like almost an honor if you're allowed to premiere or you even win an award at Cannes Film Festival, because it is such a prestigious thing. It's basically like the Oscar version in film festival, basically. And at that festival, Spike Lee won Award of the Youth for foreign film for She's Gotta Have It. In 2019, this film was added to the National Film Registry for preservation. You're also going to hear us say that a lot. The National Film Registry, I think we've explained it before, but just explaining it again. It's a registry that we have in America where any film that we feel like as a country is iconic, historic, culturally important, it gets preserved in, a little vault or whatever. And then it was also turned into a Netflix TV show.
Yes, starring DeWanda Wise.
Which I really didn't like that much.
Why?
I think, and this is a critique that I've seen on Spike's work a lot recently, especially with the most recent one he just did with Denzel Washington. I can't think of right now. But I think as Spike has gotten older, his work becomes like more like cliche.
I was about to say cliche.
Yeah, and it becomes very like Spike. Like you can just tell he's getting older, and maybe his view on modern things are a little bit just very Spike Lee-like, and that doesn't necessarily always translate well.
Do you think it's like him trying to keep up with the times in a way, and like it's not really working, or like what do you?
I think Spike Lee has the privilege of being such an iconic and revered director that he can kind of do whatever the fuck he wants, and he can say whatever the fuck he wants. And like people will challenge him, but he like, nigga, after Malcolm X, everybody could have sucked my dick. Like after Malcolm X, you can't, y'all niggas.
I mean,
can't
that's valid though. That's,
you can't. Like
valid.
when you do work like that, you can't talk to me like me, nigga. Like so. And we'll get to that. But yeah, I think in the latter half of the years, I think Spike's work has kind of become a little like not on brand per se. Yeah. But I think She's Gotta Have It. For him to be like a young director emerging at that time, I think for me as well, it was interesting watching it as I watched it when I was young, but watching it as a grown woman now, and seeing Nola Darling's like life written and directed by a Black man. Like, I can't be too mad at it. It was, like, to me, it was pretty fucking good. You know? I think he did a solid job.
I think so, too. I like the movie. It's one of those movies that I always go back to, and it's like, it's a cool movie. I enjoy watching it. You know, it's not something that I got to intellectualize.
Yeah, it's a good watch. You can just watch it and enjoy it. And I think watch it and enjoy it. I thought I said enjoy it and enjoy it. And I think it's a good starting place for him too. Like you don't want to start too heavy, and then you don't want to start too like lazy, because then it's like, well, then who the fuck are you as a director?
It's a sweet spot.
Yes,
it's a really good sweet spot. So I enjoyed it. Yeah,
but the next film, 2 years later, he does make a statement. Yeah, he does have something he wants to say.
He has a lot that he has to say in this movie. And this movie is School Days, which released in 1988. The budget for the movie was $6.1 million, and it grossed $14.5 million, and it was distributed by Columbia Pictures. So for those of you who haven't seen School Days, it takes place at an HBCU. What was the name? Why can't I think of the name of the freaking school? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't exist. Takes place at an HBCU, and it stars Lawrence Fishburne. And basically it's about the HBCU college experience. So and it examines different types of Blackness. So you have your Greeks on campus, and then you have the side that's completely against Greekdom, and they're super Black and Pan-Africanist. And then you also deal with topics such as colorism. And just to juxtapose this from She's Gotta Have It, we were saying how She's Gotta Have It is like a sweet spot. He didn't do too much. But with this one, he was really in your face with the messages. So I consider the movie like low-key a musical. Because there were so like the detail and the intentionality behind a lot of the performances. So like with the Good Hair song, the choreography, like that was a whole production.
Whole moment.
Within itself.
Yeah.
And then you have Tisha Campbell when she does her song with the three other girls. And then we have Phyllis Hyman in the movie.
You do have Phyllis Hyman in
so it's like low-key a musical about Black college life.
Yeah.
And it gave an inside look to a part of Blackdom, if you want to say Blackdom, or Black life that was very niche and specific. Like everybody doesn't experience college, but also everybody doesn't experience HBCU. And going to a HBCU and going to a PWI are two completely different experiences. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was funny when you would say it's in your face. I was thinking of the end scene when he goes, "Wake up!"
You literally,
literally, wake the fuck up.
Yelling.
I think this is one of those films where, like, when I saw it when I was a little bit younger, it felt so serious to me. And not to say that it doesn't feel serious now, but I think, like, you can tell he was a young director still trying to find his voice. And I think the topic of HBCUs and Blackness and elitism and classism and colorism, I think that's like a fair area to start, especially for someone like him who went to an HBCU. Well, he went to Morehouse, but still, you know, niggers. So I just think that was something that was in his wheelhouse that felt comfortable that he could explore. I instantly, like, every time I just even think of it, I think of Alicia Keys' Teenage Love Affair.
You know, when you mentioned that, I said, yo, I forgot all about that. Because I remember watching the video. I'm like, oh, shit, that's that.
Yeah.
But
no, it's such a good video. That's one of my favorite songs. She ate that. But yeah, and I think films like a film like School Days becomes the prototype for like a Drumline or even a Dear White People. Like Dear White People is like very clearly from the tree of School Days. So yeah, I agree. And I like School Days. It's a cool movie. It's not one of my faves, but like it's cool. It. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's actually, so his third film is the one where really like all this shit gets kicked the fuck off. Like, which I think is cool because I think the first one you have him just playing around with a format, a POV, doing something kind of cool, artsy fartsy. Second film, it's like, okay, I'm going with my wheelhouse. I went to a historically Black school. I mean, da 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 da. The third one, he was like,
it's like with School Days, he was testing the waters. He's like, all right, let me put this out.
Right, let me see what niggas say.
Let me see what niggas say. Let me see how they receive it. Now this third one, I'm kicking the door down. I'm outside.
I mean, when you look at what was happening culturally anyway, like in 1989, Janet Jackson releases Rhythm Nation. And like she came out and said like, I was very young and I kind of thought that album would change things. I thought that album would influence another generation to where we wouldn't have to deal with the racial issues that we were dealing with still in the 80s. And I kind of feel like Spike maybe felt that way with Do the Right Thing. I feel like he might have felt like if there was ever a time to really make a statement. Like we talk about the 70s and Blaxploitation and how it was like, stick it to the man. And yeah, the man trying to fuck me over. This was really like, no, I'm addressing the man. Everybody wants to stick it to him. No, I'm literally going to look you in your face. Because so often we think of the man as the system, and it is the system. But the man is also like the man across the street who's gentrifying the neighborhood. Like, you know?
Wow, literally.
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 So, yeah, we're now talking about Do the Right Thing. I think there's so many scenes in my head that comes when I think of Do the Right Thing. There's the opening scene with Rosie Perez. Why we both just start doing that? She was wild. She was fucking up. Don't play with Rosie Perez now. Radio Raheem's speech about love and hate. He all looking. hate. Like, I think even how like Brooklyn kind of becomes its own character, right?
Yeah.
Like the city of Brooklyn, or rather, that's more of a township neighborhood. New York
borough.
is borough. Yeah, that's how New York sets it up. Yeah, but like, I think like it becomes lively, like through the color schemes. Like I think of when they're sitting in front of the wall and they have like the umbrella propped up, and the OG, it's Ozzie Davis and the OGs outside. Like, even I think about the scene where like Mookie is just walking across the street, and it's just like the city becomes alive. And I think that was through Spike's work. I think that was the first time I ever really seen a place come to life.
Yeah,
like he makes Brooklyn a character. Which I think in itself is like a love story to Brooklyn.
An ode to Brooklyn.
An ode to Brooklyn, really.
I love that.
And if you've ever been on Do the Right Thing Way in Brooklyn, which is where his 40 acres and a mule location is at, it's such a cool place to be because there's not much going on. They have like the mural up there and stuff, but just knowing like where he shot it, and it's just like, oh man, like this is so cool. So the budget for the film was $6.2 million. So roughly around what we were dealing with School Days. He grossed $37.3 million.
Insane.
This was also another independent film. It was written, directed, and produced by Spike Lee. It was distributed by Universal Pictures. Another scene I think of, it just came to me, is the ending with Sal and Mookie, but I'll get back to when Sal.
We talked about that last night.
Yeah, with Sal and Mookie. Do the Right Thing has so many parts to it, but I think the first one is, of course, like how it combined hip hop with cinema. Up until this point, like we spoke about last episode, you do have like hip hop films coming out, but this is the first time like you're actually getting like hip hop a part of the narrative in the film. Even down to like, of course, Fight the Power, which has now become in its own world, its own like power. And then there's just like the use of like color, the cinematography done by Ernest Dickinson, which I think just once again just brings the city to life. So the inspiration behind the film, there was a murder in 1986 at Howard Beach in Queens, outside of a pizzeria. A black guy by the name of Michael Griffith was there with two of his other friends, and some white teenagers came up, started beating them. Michael got away, but he then was hit when he was trying to get away. He got on the highway and he got hit by a motorist. And so Spike was having this conversation with Robert De Niro, and they were talking about this incident. And so Spike started doing some more research, and there was a murder in 1984 of Eleanor Bumpers. She was a elderly and mentally ill black woman who lived in the projects in the Bronx. The housing committee basically wanted her out. They called the police on her. The police came and they killed her in her apartment. Another thing that Spike was inspired by, there was this show called Alfred Hitchcock Presents in the 60s. And there's an episode where the whole premise is these two characters discussing this theory that when the weather is hot, violence increases.
Yeah.
So Spike took all of these influences from real life, what was happening in New York, but also from a place like Alfred fucking Hitchcock. Just
Mad random,
like Alfred Hitchcock. And he basically created this story. It took him 2 weeks to write the script. There's this moment between Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, and you could say early Malcolm X, because Malcolm X is a little bit tricky, but there's this early thing where Spike, I don't know creatively what the fuck was going on with him, but he was knocking shit out in like 15 days and like, yo, here's my script. Like you're bugging.
Mind you, if I get assigned a paper,
I'm sitting there like, okay. And I'm a writer and I'm like, okay, let me figure this shit out. Radio Raheem has become one of the most iconic characters in cinema. Even like the cultural thread of that, like he was inspired by the film The Night of the Hunter, which is a 1955 film. Go fucking look it up. But because we got enough to go through. But there's a character in there, Harry Powell, who is a serial killer, but he's also a pastor. And on his knuckles, he has love and hate tattooed on them. And that's where the brass rings for Radio Raheem, love and hate come from. Because in The Night of the Hunter, Harry Powell is struggling internally with love and hate because he's a pastor, but he's also a serial killer. Whereas externally, Radio Raheem is dealing with love and hate because he just want to like, why can't we all just be normal, be cool? And he ends up getting killed by NYPD.
Yeah.
The film was nominated for 2 Oscars, Best Original Screenplay, and the actor who played Sal was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. But overall, the film and the cast was not nominated. And the amazing cast: Ozzie Davis, Ruby Dee, Giancarlo Esposito, Spike Lee, Bill Nunn, Martin Lawrence, Rosie Perez. Even Samuel L. Jackson was in the film in a minor role, but no one else was really, or the film itself was really looked at, which is something that the Academy itself has acknowledged as kind of a sore spot in their legacy. But ultimately, I think what I take away from Do the Right Thing is just that, like, I was able to go to his exhibit a year or 2 ago that he did at the Brooklyn Museum. And like, Spike is one of those people who like, yes, I know Black culture enough because I've lived it, but I also know cinema enough because I studied it.
Yeah.
And if I can take those 2 worlds and find a balance where I can get Black people to come see this elevated form of Black cinema, but I can also get white people to understand, like, no, we have stories that we can tell, and we can tell it in an artsy, cinematography. Like, we can do all of that too. This was the prime example of it. And the more we were researching Spike, I'm like, he really was the Ryan Coogler of his time. And you see that with, we'll eventually get to Malcolm X, but you see it with Malcolm X too. But then after Do the Right Thing, a year later, he does Mo Better Blues. Because like I said, he was writing Mo Better Blues while he was making Do the Right Thing. So he was kind of knocking on 2 doors at the same time. But Mo Better Blues I like because it's just sexy, it's cool, it's fun, it's seductive, a little dramatic, it's heightened. But it's really important because it's the first collaboration between Denzel Washington and Spike Lee. It's their first time working together. But also for Denzel, it's a different type of role. Because up until this point, he's played very like soldiers and historic, like very very serious dramatic roles. And now he's playing someone who's like is fly as hell and cool. I think of the dolly shot of him. But now he's cool and he's sexy and he's moving a different energy, and you basically I thought of Love Jones when I was watching this movie. I thought a lot about Love Jones when I was watching Mo Better Blues. Like, just the whole idea of taking poetry, these very like niche kind of things, and making them very sexy, but also alluring and dangerous emotionally. Like, like that was...
Love Jones is actually a great comparison when you think about it.
Yeah, like it was good. And Mo Better Blues was inspired by his father, Bill Lee, who was a jazz musician, and he worked with artists like Bob Dylan and Aretha Franklin. And the budget was $10 million. It grossed $16 million, and it was distributed by Universal Pictures. So, yeah. I think Mo Better Blues, it was... To come off of Do the Right Thing and to do Mo Better Blues, I think that was a good balance.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of needed to...
Because then right after that...
he did 2 that just...
Again. So then right after you have... Well, not even... Yeah, literally. The next year, you come out with Jungle Fever.
What up?
He's got jungle fever. She's got jungle fever.
Shout out to Stevie Wonder.
So it's so funny because throughout my life, I always heard the term jungle fever.
Same.
And I never knew what that meant. I'm like, what the fuck is a jungle fever? What is that? But then I found out it was a movie. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Right. So then I watched the movie and I'm like, oh, okay. So if you haven't seen Jungle Fever, to make a long story short, it's basically about a Black man in corporate America, Flipper. I was about to call him Skipper again.
Girl, you and that Skipper, bro. Skip.
Played by Wesley Snipes. And he basically has an affair with his white assistant. Ooh. And it's a very steamy affair.
And it's forbidden.
It's very forbidden.
Because they're not supposed to do that.
At all.
They're not supposed to cross corporate lines, and they're not supposed to cross racial lines. Take this to HR.
Immediately. And then you would think, that's a whole nother thing within itself.
Right.
That's a whole nother thing. But the reason why I feel like this movie was so important is because not only does it just talk about interracial dating and how forbidden it still was at that time, but it also sheds light on how Black people are treated in corporate America, because in the first scene of the movie, when they tell him that he gets a new assistant and he meets her, he said that he specifically asked for a Black assistant, and how they completely undermine his request. And then even when he asked to be partner in the firm, they undermine him, basically saying that he didn't put in enough work, but every design in there was his. And then it also showed, so we have this Black man who's super successful living in Harlem. His family is one of a kind. His father is the good Reverend Doctor, and his played by Ozzie Davis, and his mother played by Ruby Dee. And you know, they're the Southern down home church family. Father's a pastor, super strict. And then his brother, his older brother, who's played by Samuel L. Jackson, is a drug addict. So it just shows the differences between Black America at that time. Like, you have some people who are on the rise corporately, who are kind of in this Black Auteur phase of their life, but then you have the others who just have fallen by the wayside and have succumbed to Reagan's America at that time.
Yeah, I mean, and soon George H.W. Bush.
Exactly. Like, it just,
they were just fucked up.
It just continues. It just continues. And one of the scenes that I thought was really important in this movie was when Flipper had to go to, it wasn't even a crack house. It was like an abandoned banquet hall.
Yeah.
That they called the Taj Mahal, where everybody was just in there just smoking crack.
Just getting high.
Just getting high. And he had to go in there and look for his brother. And the way it was, like, it was all dark, and all you just see is silhouettes of people just smoking, and you see the smoke, and it was
like, ate that.
Yeah, he ate that scene up. And then the movie is also really important because there's a scene where Wesley Flipper's wife, I can't remember her name, but she's sitting in the living room debriefing with her friends and telling them what happened, and they're having a conversation about Black men and how it's so hard to find a good Black man and get in these relationships. But I'm like, wow, these are the same conversations that women are having 30 years later.
Yeah. It's so repetitive.
It's so repetitive.
I love the Twitter combos.
It's so repetitive. So it's like, yeah, the movie was about, you know, him having this interracial relationship with this white woman, but it goes so much deeper than that. Yeah. And I feel like people, I don't want to say ignore it, but they don't really pay much attention to it as they do the actual, like, the premise of the movie. Because I just think of so many scenes. Like, I think about the scene where they were in the, what was it, Bensonhurst, that they were from, where Angela's boyfriend, he owned the coffee shop, and they were all coming in there and talking about Nikki Barnes and the Black political figures and how some of them didn't even vote. And it's like, okay, y'all control the system, but y'all not voting. Yeah. But then here it is, Black people who fought for, you know, to not be disenfranchised. And it's like, we're using our rights, but it's like, because you already know how the system goes, y'all feel like y'all don't have to. You know, so yeah, it was a very interesting movie.
Yeah, and I think it's such a nuanced movie because, like you said, it's layered. Like, it's not just an interracial story. It does talk about kind of almost like what School Days was touching on, of just elitism and classism and race, and that starts to become the trend of Spike's work. That you know it's going to be about Black people and what we're dealing with on all different levels. No matter if it's a family thing, no matter if it's corporate, no matter if it's relationships, it's for us and by us 100%. Yeah. And I think that's what makes Malcolm X such an experience, is because, like, this is the first time where it wasn't an original movie for him, as far as, like, him coming up with the concept, him writing and directing from the start. So I guess I'll just give the background info on it, and then we can get into the film. But it's obviously based on the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alec Haley. The original script was written by James Baldwin and Arnold Pearl in the late 60s. A producer by the name of Marvin Worth had acquired the rights to the book with intentions on turning it into the movie. So he reached out to James Baldwin and Arnold to get the script done. But then the film never really got picked up or anything. So it kind of just was like dormant. And then eventually Marvin was able to get the movie picked up by Warner Brothers and have them jump on to distribute it. So the director, Norman Jewison, I hope I'm not pronouncing your last name wrong. He was brought on to be the director, but it caused a lot of controversy because people was like, why is a white man about to direct a movie about Malcolm X? Like, You saying it out loud sounds crazy, but this is what they were talking about in like 1991 was like, yeah, let's have a white man direct it. I think it's also important to preface with just how people felt about Malcolm X at the time.
Yeah.
There was just kind of this idea of like Martin Luther King, when you think of him, you think peace, love, oh, he just wanted us all to be equal, even though it's much more layered than that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you think of Malcolm X, a lot of people at that time, especially white people in America, kind of viewed him as I think the easiest way to put it is a rebel. They thought of him as like outside of what they viewed as part of American history, or that's probably the best way I can put it.
Because it's like Martin Luther King wanted the system to be changed so that everybody can be equal, whereas Malcolm X was
knew the system was never going. The system had to be dismantled.
Exactly. He
in
said,
Malcolm's
fuck the
eyes.
system. This is not working.
Whereas Martin kind of wanted to work alongside the
Right.
system, and Malcolm was like, nah, you got to dismantle that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got Norman off the project, and very quickly it was like, well, who's a black director that can do it? Oh, Spike Lee. Hi. And so they bring Spike on, and the crazy thing is Denzel was attached to the project before Spike was.
Mm-hmm.
So Norman had worked with Denzel on A Soldier's Story, and he brought Denzel in on the project. And then when Spike came in, Spike was like, well, I was always going to pick him to be Malcolm X anyway, so this worked out for me. So I think it's interesting that the collab that we always associate with those two, they didn't come because of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Life and fate just met them there.
It was inevitable.
It was. And then as they started working on the film, Amiri Baraka, the father of our current mayor, as well as black nationalists, were really worried about how Spike would even portray Malcolm X, with Amiri Baraka even going as far as to warn Spike Lee not to fuck it up.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I guess.
But the real lore of the story is just how he was even able to finish it. So this was also Spike's first time working with a studio, per se. Of course, he worked with studios as far as distribution, but this was the first time a studio was bringing him onto a project that they had already acquired. So he kind of got to follow. It's a little bit different when the studio is bringing you in, because now you got to kind of please the studio and do what they want you to do. And Spike wasn't used to that, because he's a man who's always funded, wrote, and directed his own shit. So once again, back to ownership. Like, if I'm used to having my own shit and doing my own shit, why the hell I got to now change it to what you want?
Right.
He asked for a budget of $30 million. Warner Brothers told him, you can suck my dick. So he went to Francis Ford Coppola, who directed The Godfather. And Francis Ford Coppola told him to get the company pregnant, which basically means if you make as so much of the movie that it's like, hey, I need more money. If the movie is already damn near completed or halfway completed, they're not going to tell you no, because they don't want to take a loss with the money. At least not at that time with studios. They didn't want to take a loss. So Francis told him, basically, make as much of the movie as you can until you need more money, because it'll force them to have to give you more money.
Right.
Then on top of that, Spike donated $2 million of his own $3 million salary towards the film, because Warner Brothers still was not breaking and giving him money.
Warner Brothers could go to hell.
Well, not necessarily, because Warner Brothers also gave Ryan Coogler the deal they gave him.
They did.
That's
mind.
why this is interesting,
Sorry.
having this conversation about Warner Brothers. They also told him that the film will be no longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes. Does anyone want to guess how long Malcolm X is?
2 hours.
It is 3 hours and 22 minutes. He purposely.
I never wrote that. Wow, no, that movie is long.
3 hours and 22 minutes. They told him 2 hours and 15. He said, ha! But what allowed Spike to make those decisions was that there was a group of iconic Black figures in all aspects of entertainment who gave him the money. They didn't loan it. They didn't say, oh, this is an investment, I want to be producer. They literally just gave him the money and said, do what you have to do. And those people were, without bias or judgment, Bill Cosby, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Janet Jackson, Prince, Tracy Chapman. You got a fast car. That's her. And then Piggy Cooper, who is the founder of the Duke Ellington School of Arts.
Wow, Tracy Chapman, that's tough.
Tracy Chapman.
That's tough.
Niggas got.
That's tough.
And again, these weren't loans. These weren't investments. They gave him that money and said, do whatever the fuck you got to do. We want to give it to you because you've already done such amazing work for Black people. Keep doing the shit that you're doing. And if that isn't community, if that isn't like, yo, take that shit, bro. Go do what you got to do. Like, that in itself is just like, to be that revered amongst just the Black community in Hollywood in general, where they're like, I would personally come out my pocket and just give you this money. I don't even want it back. Like, I think that says alone what people thought and how they felt about Spike and the work that he was doing.
Yeah.
However, it did backfire because Spike was supposed to work on Space Jam with Michael Jordan, and they basically blocked him because they were like, oh, you want to go get your own money? You keep wanting to go against us. Boop, you blocked.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
Another thing was that when Spike Lee was doing promotion for this film, he specifically asked media outlets to only send Black journalists to interview him. The only publication that denied or turned down that request was the Los Angeles Times, but everyone else, including Vogue and Rolling Stone magazine, agreed, and they sent Black journalists to interview him, which I think if more of you directors did that, maybe more people would actually see your work. You know, if you just... Instead of looking at a publication, you're like, hey, I just want you to cover this, come see it, X, Y, and Z. So, like, even before we even get into the film part of it, Spike was already going through the business part of it, which I think for a lot of us who are starting our own shit, that's the hardest part. Is like, I'm just trying to do some shit for my niggas, for the culture. Yeah. And now I got to deal with this business shit. Yeah. Now I got to deal with the money. But altogether, the budget was $35 million and it grossed $73 million.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So he did get his he got over $30 million, but yeah, he got his $30 million dollars for his film. Also, fun fact, Warner Brothers wanted him to film the Mecca scenes in New Jersey. And Spike Lee was like, maybe down here in Halsey. Maybe that's where they wanted him to film.
Yo.
But yeah, Warner Brothers told him if he wanted to film his scenes in Mecca, he could film them in New Jersey. And he said, ha. But what also is funny, he got the money he needed, and he had to send a second unit film crew out to Mecca to film it because non-Muslims are not allowed in Mecca. So he sent a team of all Muslim filmmakers and teams out there.
He said, I'm dead ass
to get the scene that he wanted. And also, fun fact, this is the first non-documentary and the first American film to be permitted to film in Mecca or within the Haram Sharif.
I did not know that.
Especially for you. Is that dope?
What the heck?
This is the first American film to have permission to film in Mecca. And the first non-documentary film to have permission to film in Mecca. Like, if that don't tell you how crazy Spike was.
You really can't deny this man.
You see why I'm saying he can talk to niggas any way he want? I opened the doors. You niggas can't even film him. You niggas can't even spell Mecca. You niggas can't even spell Mecca. Yeah, no, once I found that out, I was like, oh, Spike, you are, man, what an honor. What an honor it would be.
What the hell?
Yeah, no, man. Like, Spike, he's in a whole different league. But yeah, that's enough, I think, of like the background info into the film. But as far as like the film itself, it was nominated for 2 Oscars. Best Costume Design for Ruth E. Carter, who already is a longtime collaborator with Spike Lee. And Best Actor for Denzel Washington. But of course, as we all know, that has been recognized for years as just one of the worst like losses.
They did real bad.
Even the Academy, it's actually funny. 20 years after that, I think, the Academy did basically a re-ranking. They had the members re-rank things. Like, if you would have had to re-vote for this in this year, what would you have done? And literally, it was unanimous. Everyone would have voted for Denzel for Malcolm X. And in 2010, the film was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. So this is a one-of-one film. There's so many scenes when it comes to Malcolm X. There's him praying in Mecca.
Yeah.
What is it, Jumu'ah, right?
Yeah, well, he went to Jumu'ah.
Yeah.
And he was in the masjid alone. And it's just the way it's shot. It's like on an angle, and then you see the sunlight coming down. And then you know what I thought about from that same scene is in Kendrick Lamar's Humble, the music video.
Oh, shit.
The opening where he has the cape on and he's just standing there and the...
But you know, that was inspired by Gordon Parks, and Spike Lee loves Gordon Parks. So it's like, once again, it's just like a...
interpolation all the time. Yeah.
A lot of damn stuff, and also Mr. Morale kind of gave like that kind of
the front cover alone of Mr. Morale.
Yeah, because it wasn't originally like it was inspired by Malcolm X with the gun.
And then he's sitting there holding a baby, looking out the window.
Look at us. Happens every time.
Every time.
And then of course you have it's been a what?
The needle drop
by the river. Every time you hear that, once you hear the violins, it's like, oh man. And then it's like you're screaming at the screen, don't go. You ain't gotta speak. Don't go. Like, but I mean, he knew it was coming.
He did
eventually. But that fucking dolly shot, the scene of when they set the house on fire, and like the family's just running out the house, the zoot suits, and then what? Walking across the street.
The jig is up, Red. They got us.
You said that.
They got us.
Every time you say it. No, the problem is you keep saying it out of nowhere.
Because, bro, that's the... And then he just...
The jig is up.
And he said it with that fucking permit. Yo, because he really washed his head in the toilet.
Yeah. He's like, They're coming. Red. The time. Malcolm X's life is Red. It kind of needs its own movie. Like,
no, literally. Because when you said the movie was 3 hours, I was like, facts, because this spends about an hour
just on Red.
On
Just Red get his own shit alone.
Red was something else.
He was a mess.
Red.
And then you have Delroy Lindo, who like, this was my first time I remember like seeing him, like, and being like, oh, who is that?
Yeah.
Like, such a command on screen as what was it, Jamaican, damn, I forgot his character's name. I hate that, and it's such an iconic character.
It's on the tip of my tongue,
yeah, too. But even like the scene where he's like dying and like, like Malcolm X comes to see him. The Plymouth Rock speech. We didn't land on us. It's just, I don't know. There's so many, the cinematography, fucking Ernest Dickerson. How did he not get nominated?
I don't know.
For cinematography.
I don't know.
How did he not win for cinematography? Like, what else could have possibly been better than that?
What else did he need to do? What else did he need? Like, I don't get it. I don't be getting it.
Me neither. And I don't think the Oscars got it either, which is why years later they're still regretting it.
They know they don't.
Which is why years later they're still like, yeah, no, we fucked up on that one. But I mean, like, to take a polarizing leader like Malcolm X, and one who at the time wasn't being as taught about. Normally it was like a lot of Martin Luther King, and then they would leave Malcolm X kind of off the table because it was too polarizing, too like risky. To take a man like that and to highlight both his flaws, to highlight both his strengths in such a larger than life way, and to bring the highest quality in cinematography and acting and costume design and writing and acting and directing and the music and just literally bring the highest of highest out of your whole cast, which is really majority Black. I'm in complete awe every time I watch Malcolm X.
Malcolm X was actually the first Spike Lee movie I ever seen.
I think that was the first Spike Lee movie I ever seen. My
mom's like made me sit down and watch it, and he was actually the first like Black
director that I knew.
Yeah,
like that I knew by name. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that's Spike Lee. Like, if you ask me, I mean, we're starting this conversation early, hint at a project, but like, I'm right now gonna, in terms of what we're talking about, it's gonna be number one. Like, if I was making this list in 1992, I would put Malcolm X as the best Black. Yeah, that's the best film in Black cinema. Yeah, I don't really think you can get anything that touches it. Well, but you can't.
You can't. You're right. It's
even
like,
still, you can't get anything.
It's like right there.
Yeah, even still, you can't get anything that touches it. Thank you, Spike, for Malcolm X.
Thank you. I am Malcolm X.
I am Malcolm X. We're just gonna get through the last Spike Lee film. There's enough of your shit.
Okay, I'm sorry. Time's up.
The jig is up.
Jig is up. They got us. They got us.
I'm gonna have to make like a compilation of all my snorts. You can't stop it. Stop! No, I'm doing it. No, stop it. I can't stop. Malcolm X shouldn't make us laugh this much. No, it really Plymouth Rock did laugh. The most unprotected woman in this country is a black woman. The fuck?
Yo.
What y'all talking about?
Shout out to Elijah Muhammad.
No, for real. I'm not even part of the nation, but yes.
Neither am I.
Thank you. So then 2 years after Malcolm X, because Spike needed some time to decompress after Malcolm X. Warner Brothers had him fucked up. He was over here calling people looking for money. Yo, imagine you, hey, Oprah, look, I ain't gonna hold you, bitch. I'm trying to go to Mecca right now.
I just gotta shoot like 2 scenes.
I just gotta shoot like 2 scenes real fast.
So I like type shit.
That's gonna be me with Mick. Hey Mick, look, we just gotta run to Mecca real quick. We just gotta do
type shit. Like,
no, I can't call Mick because Mick gonna be the type. All right, well, what we gotta do? I'm with y'all. I gotta meet you at no airport. Like I can't. That's why I can't do.
Blaze gonna be like, okay, what time?
Right, like,
what
whoa,
day?
did
Hold
we
on,
actually
wait,
book the flights? Do we have a hotel? Like, where are we staying? Meanwhile, Mick just gonna be like, man, just get in the car. Let's just grab
Mick gonna have a book bag. He ain't even gonna have a suitcase. He's gonna have a book bag
with his passport in his hand. Yo, come on, let's just go.
Ready? All right, we out.
We ain't got no tickets. No, then Mick gonna be like, we can just swoop around security. Come on, we ain't got to stay here with TSA. We can just walk around. We can just.
No, I'm about to call my man.
Yo,
hey, bro.
Yo, Mick got a man's at the airport. He got a man's at the go. Oh my God. Why are we laughing so much during this? This is when we're supposed to be serious.
Okay. Come on, get it together, Key.
Okay.
All right. How we go? No, we gotta talk about Crooklyn, bro. That movie funny as shit. That movie funny.
La 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 la.
Quit it! Oh my God! Quit it! Oh, quit it!
Oh, Queenie! Queenie! No. At some point, we gotta take some shit serious.
Okay, come on.
Okay.
All right.
So 2 years after Malcolm X, Spike comes back with Crooklyn, which is inspired by his sister Joy. She wrote it with Spike and their younger brother. And it's basically about her growing up in Brooklyn in the 70s. It's really not like a super deep film.
Yeah.
The core of it is basically you're just watching a girl live her day-to-day life with her family, the ups and downs that this family is going through, the regular everyday life, slice of life shit. And then she goes down south for a summer vacation because she's just thinking shit sweet. And she come back and her mom is sick and dying of cancer, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Breast cancer.
Yeah, breast cancer. And by the end of the film, she basically, assumes the position of her mother as any young girl would. I just personally love the film because I've always felt the connection to Troy, and we were having this conversation. I was talking about how I've always kind of dealt with grief since I was a child. And lately, the last couple years, I've been dealing with it more heavily. And when my aunt passed away last year, I actually watched Crooklyn. And I just sat there and cried. Like, I cried. Because it's such a heavy feeling to be, like, when you're young, you're so naive to things. And you feel like time is just so vast. And then you get older and you realize time isn't infinite. And before you know it, that little girl grows up. And so I think for me, as a young Black woman who all of my childhood experiences and moments have been in Newark, whether they were on Finley Place, whether they were on Ellery, whether they were on Fairmont Ave, like, that's where I grew up. Yeah. And I guess the older I get, the more I feel like my inner kid is Troy. And so I've always saw myself through that film, really.
Yeah. I really like the movie because, like we were saying last night, it just follows the life of an everyday Black girl. There's nothing like mad traumatic that happens to her. It's just like black girl growing up in the hood type shit. She outside with her friends, getting into stuff she ain't had no business getting into, stealing from the supermarket, like you know the type of shit that the average black girl goes through.
Yeah.
You know, like we've all been down south to stay with a weird aunt before. Like we've all.
It's the reason I stopped going down.
Yeah, like we've all done that.
Yeah. And I think it's a beautiful film. And this was actually the first time he didn't work with Ernest Dickerson as his cinematographer. He worked with Arthur Jaffa. Mm-hmm. And the budget was $14 million. It grossed 13.6 and it was distributed by Universal Pictures. But I think Crooklyn was one of those things where after doing Malcolm X, you could do something personal. And you can do something that's like just a family film that's like for us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go so heavy again. And I think Spike probably needed to not go as heavy again. Well, for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So going back to the hood movies and the hood classics. We have John Singleton. Very important figure during this time.
Always hoard.
What?
You saw my little foot.
What?
You gotta get the form right.
Pork the core. Yeah.
Boys in the Which I'm comfortable laughing at this shit because a lot of this shit is funny.
It is funny. It is funny. So look, I told you I watched the movie with the baby.
Yes.
And he, at that very scene, he was staring at the TV and was like, "Oh no, oh no, Mama, Vicky, like, why do you understand what's happening right now?"
Because all you see is somebody running and you know it's dangerous.
He heard the saxophones. The saxophones got real loud. But gosh. The reason why I think this movie is so important is because it basically talks about how your environment doesn't necessarily have to define you. Yeah. Because you have characters like Trey, who's played by Cuba Gooding Jr., who comes from a good home, he comes from a good family, but he's in the middle. Yo! I hate that scene.
Because what the fuck was that?
I hate that. And then Nia Long just being a pick-me.
When bitches be like, "Mommy, he get aggressive. I gotta calm him down. Baby can relax. Calm down. Calm down. Relax."
What? Like, what? But, so I just lost my train. Okay, no.
No, people are not a product of their environment.
They're not a product of their environment. Like I said, you have Trey, who's gone off to college, and then you have Ricky, who's trying to make it with this football thing, even though his grades were trash. So
well, you know, niggas think that sports can get them out the hood.
They do. And then he had a baby. It was just he was trying.
Yeah,
he was trying.
He was. I will give him that.
He was trying. And then you have his brother Doughboy, who's portrayed by Ice Cube, and he just.
That was his film debut, by the way. That was a lot of people's film's debut. That was Ice Cube's film debut. That was Regina King's film debut, and Morris Chestnut's. What the fuck am I saying? Morris Chestnut's film debut. So yeah, he broke a lot of ground with that, as far as also giving us emerging actors and actresses.
And then it was also interesting to see Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett play his parents, because then they later played.
Come on, Ike and Tina.
Come on, back in the limo type shit. You know?
Come on, family.
But yeah.
And
overall good movie.
Yeah, and the budget was $5.7 to $6.5 million. It grossed $57.5 million. And initially, the film developed as a requirement for his application for film school, and then he sold the script to Columbia upon graduation. So I think that's a pretty great way to go. You started it to get into film school, and then by the end of film school, you done sold it. He also worked at Arsenio Hall, the show, for a minute doing production as like an intern. The film was screened at the 1991 Cannes Film Festival, like I told you guys, important. It earned 2 Oscar nominations, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, making John Singleton the youngest person, as well as the first African-American to be nominated for Best Director. And in 2002, the film was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. Yep. So even America has acknowledged that, like, when it comes to... It's funny because we see it as a hood classic, but for white people, they just see it as like a great movie about the hood.
Right, literally.
This is great because they either don't know, don't show, and don't give a fuck what's going on in the hood.
And it's one of those black movies that stays on Netflix. You know, they always taking
it's going to stay on TV, stay on a streaming site.
Always on Netflix.
Like, Snowfall, bow down to your father.
Literally.
Bow down to your father. And then also, so 2 years after Boys in the Hood, we get Poetic Justice, which is really just like I told you, I was like, if he would have had anybody else in the lead, this shit would be ass. But you got Janet fucking Jackson and Tupac
at the same time?
Like, you literally got them to kiss. Like, we have a kissing scene of them because of you. He also spreaded a rumor about Janet.
Real bad. Like
so low-key, fuck you, John, but rest in peace. But, like, that was corny.
And he never cleared that shit up.
Never. Well, no, he actually did.
No, he did. He did
that
apologize.
was when he went on Drink Champs. And he was like, yeah, we just need, like, a marketing thing. And it was like, oh, so the marketing thing was that. Got you. Okay, yeah, let's put it on a black woman. Sure.
About something like that.
I mean, but then he made Baby Boy, so we'll drag him in the next episode. Well, not the next one, but 2 episodes down. Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry, John. You're getting your dragon.
Rest in peace, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So also in the 80s, you get a lot of like partnerships happening. Like we briefly talked about like Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy and their friendship. Even on the music side, like we've talked about some things. But in cinema, there is this group, this partnership that really emerges from Keenan, Ivory, Wayans, and Robert Townsend. Yeah. So they both met in New York on the comedy scene. Robert was already kind of doing things, and Keenan was really like just getting his feet wet. And I forgot which one told the other which, but I remember one of them said, hey, I'm going to go out to LA and I'm going to try to make this shit happen. And they got in the car together and they went to LA. They were both doing like odd jobs, not odd jobs, but just taking on acting jobs when they could, trying to make connections, going on auditions. And they were realizing that Hollywood was very racist. They were realizing that Hollywood wanted you to be a certain way. Specifically, they all wanted you to be like Eddie Murphy because he was the big black star at the time. And then they wrote this movie called Hollywood Shuffle, which they were able to make because Townsend basically maxed out all of his pre-approved credit cards. The film took over 2.5 years to make, but they only filmed for 12 days. So out of this 2.5 years that they had to make the film, they only actually filmed 12 days. 12 days is crazy. And he would rent the camera equipment on a Thursday, tell them he was shooting on a Friday, and then wouldn't return the equipment back until Monday. So he was paying less for the time that he was using it for. This man was doing all types of like
all types of shit.
All types of we just need to get this shit
get it done. Just get it. I don't want to do it no more. Just finish it. No more.
Knock this shit out. Even the cast was listed as the Hollywood Shuffle players. They weren't listed as like, oh, these are the main cast members. No, we are a part of like this new collective that are emerging in Black Hollywood. It was kind of meta, the film, if you've never seen it. They basically kind of just use Hollywood as an example of like, they want you to be a certain kind of way so you can fit the narratives that they want to sell in Hollywood. And I'm not going to go with that. The budget was $100,000 with Robert Townsend's credit cards. And it grossed $5.2 million. And it was distributed by Samuel Goldwyn Company. It's the first partnership between them. I think in the last episode we spoke about, well, no, we actually didn't. But they actually ended up writing and working on some stuff for Eddie Murphy, like with Raw. But that's like the first relationship between Robert and Keenan. So you have Hollywood Shuffle, which is directed by Robert Townsend, and it's written by Robert and Keenan Ivory Wayans, and that's in 1987. And then in 1988 we have I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yeah, and it's basically just an ode to like blaxploitation cinema. It introduces a new form of black comedy, which was also very niche at that time as well. So it features icons from the blaxploitation era, such as Antonio Fargas from Foxy Brown, Isaac Hayes, as well as Kadeem Harrison, John Witherspoon, Damon Wayans, Dawn Lewis, and Chris Rock. And like even the title itself, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Sucker. Like that was some, like, you know how they were saying nigga? Yeah. They were saying sucker. Like that was
Jive Turkey.
Yeah, that was their thing. So the film was written and directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. The budget for it was $3 million. And it grossed 13, which isn't bad.
Ain't bad.
Ain't bad.
Yeah.
And it was distributed by MGM. So it's one of those, you know, feel good, funny movies. Yeah. Like just something to watch to pass the time by. But it's important to note.
And it's the prototype for the Wayans work that we're going to see in the next couple episodes that we're going to be discussing. This kind of like a I don't want to say a mockery, but kind of like a spoof. Like you're kind of making fun, which we also see in like later work, like Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah.
Where it's like, don't be a menace while drinking juice. Like,
and then from there you get the scary movies.
Yeah. So and of
becomes
course
a
we'll
thing.
get into all of that.
Yeah.
But really, Don't Be a Menace and I'm Gonna Get You Suck is like the real first template of like what we would then see within Living Color, which we'll talk about next episode. And then you have the 5 Heartbeats, which is really a Robert Townsend film. The only thing Keenan did was Keenan co-wrote the script with him. But 5 Heartbeats was directed by Robert Townsend. It was written by Robert Townsend. It was inspired by like groups like the Temptations, the Dells, the Four Tops, artists like that. The budget was 9 to 10 million. It only grossed 8.7 million, and it was distributed by 20th Century Fox. But to me, that's one of those movies where I don't give a fuck what it grossed. I don't give a fuck what it even cost to make it. There are no words as to what that film means to me. I thought it was a real group until I was old enough to use Google.
I did too for a very long time. It's a Black classic.
100%.
It's a classic.
Dang.
So then we have the Hughes brothers, who are
Alan and
we're sorry.
we love you.
We
Thank
love
you.
you real bad. And 2 of their very iconic movies, Menace II Society and Dead Presidents. So Menace II Society came out in 93. It was a hood classic written by 2 Black brothers, the Hughes brothers, that were not from the hood.
At all.
Grew up in modern day suburbia.
Yeah.
And the story basically follows a protagonist named Kane. He grew up in the hood. Like when you talk about product of his environment, literally a product of his
Like
environment.
they gave birth to that nigga.
Gave birth. He's seen death, drugs, all of it from the time he was 5 to his untimely demise at 18.
Yes.
And the movie is very interesting because, you know, when you learn that the Hughes brothers were not from the hood, you question how are they able to capture this generational pain of being a product of your environment when they aren't from that particular environment, you know, and it gives a very in-depth look into some niche things. It's like you have the friend who's he's completely completely off the wall. Like I don't even think rebel is the right word for him.
Oh no, he's
like,
just a complete.
He just doing
delinquent
shit.
ain't even a word for him.
It's not because he was really just out here just doing
a
shit.
Demon.
Yeah. I hate to say
You
it.
want to let them kill your cousin, dog? You want to let them kill your cousin? Like, God damn.
And then you have the other friend who's a newfound Muslim, and he's mad that all his other friends won't change.
Shout out to
and it's
Sharif.
like Sharif, and it's just like, gang, go get some new friends.
Yeah.
Like niggas ain't on what you want.
Tupac was mad about that shit. He was supposed to play Sharif.
He was,
and then he
supposed to.
didn't understand why he had to become Muslim, and then he beat Allen up. So
What?
that's why he had to become Muslim. Assalamu alaikum.
But the movie was distributed and produced by New Line Cinema. It had a budget of 3.5 million. It grossed 30 million. Yeah. And interestingly enough, it was filmed in Watts, and Great Street Watts Crips worked as security.
Well, yeah, you need them niggas on.
Yeah, because the niggas ain't supposed to be there. Niggas
Shoot the whole block.
You're not supposed to
Don't
be
hit
there.
him. He got kids with him. My apologies.
Because that was a direct reference. Like even he had the little
hit him,
boy
he got kids.
in the back on the
with
bike with the little bike.
Don't hit him. He got kids with him. Yeah.
I think something else that was I was watching a movie with Dex, and he was like, "Yo, what was Jada Pinkett's name in the movie?
Child, you know.
I can't remember her name, but he was like, "Yo, she groomed Kane.
Ooh,
She was old as hell,
she was.
and
older
that
than
was
Kane.
Purnell's baby mother. Purnell was like,
Oh, she did kind of groom him a little bit.
yeah,
But in the hood shit, I've heard stories like
you
that.
hear shit like
I got
that all
people
the
in
time.
my
Yeah,
like that.
you hear shit like that all the time. But it's like, you want to take this 18-year-old boy down to Atlanta with you and play stepdaddy? He just graduated, babe.
Pedo.
Like last week.
Pedo.
But it's a great movie. Yeah. It's a great movie. And then in 95, we have Dead Presidents. Now, Dead Presidents was very different from Menace II Society.
Way darker.
Very dark.
I mean, even though Menace II Society is dark,
It's
like
dark.
Dead Presidents just felt like, ooh.
Yeah, and
Y'all
I think
fucked up.
the reason why it was so heavy is because of the topic.
Yeah, the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it talked about black soldiers.
Yeah, in the Vietnam War.
In the Vietnam War, and just if you know, the historical context of the Vietnam War, it was the most brutal war.
Yeah, a lot of people came back addicted to drugs, mentally all fucked up. The VA hospital has been around, but like that's really when people started to make complaints about the government. Like you're not taking care of the people that you're sending. You're sending kids off to be in these violent situations and coming home and not helping them.
And it shed light into mental health and how Black people deal with it, how the characters in it, they were literally dealing with PTSD.
Yeah.
You know, you see Chris Tucker's character, he becomes addicted to drugs, and then Lorenz Tate's character, he's having nightmares and he's abusive to his wife, and all of these are traits of PTSD. And because they weren't being taken care of by the country they fought for, did they rob a bank, or did it was a Brinks truck,
Yeah,
right?
It was the Brinks truck that they had stole from. But then when they went to court, Anthony, that's Lorenz Tate's character, he's like, hey, I fought in the Vietnam War, I'm traumatized, I'm fucked up. And the judge was like, played by Martin Sheen, was like, I really don't give a fuck.
Care. I don't care.
Don't give a shit.
Yeah, so the movie, like I said, it was important at that time because there weren't a lot of conversations around PTSD and around Black mental health. And especially when the movie took place, nobody knew what that was, and nobody really cared to know what that was. And like you said, I think the Vietnam War was the war that really opened up people's eyes and realized, like, I feel like there's always been anti-war propaganda, but it was during that time where it was like, no, this shit is too much. Yeah. Because a lot of people came home, and there are a lot of vets, some that are still living, that are still dealing with the effects of the Vietnam War. So I think that Presidents, it was an interesting movie, and it shows the range of the Hughes brothers, how they can go from and they're not even from the hood. Like, they did not experience the stuff that they wrote about. That's what's crazy to me, how they were able to portray that in such an artistic way.
That's what makes a great writer.
Yeah.
Is like you being able to adapt and be in a new situation and write about things that you normally can't relate to. So, yeah, and I love the Hughes brothers' work, especially those two projects. And I love the documentary they did recently on Tupac. That was really, really good. I think Alan just did that, but that was really good too.
Ready.
Okay. But then, so outside of the auteurs, we have like directorial debuts.
Yeah.
We have Mario Van Peebles with New Jack City. Shout out again, Melvin.
To the Van Peebles.
The Van Peebles family, the Black cinema. We thank you. We appreciate your contributions.
Thank you.
And then you also have Ernest Dickerson, who does Juice in 1992. So we have New Jack City in 1991. We have Juice in 1992. Both of these to me are hood classics.
Absolutely. No desire.
Although I think New Jack City is a little bit more mainstream than Juice.
I feel like Juice is very niche.
Yeah, like Juice is very like for the niggas.
Yeah.
But New Jack City to me, first of all, it has an all-star cast: Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Chris Rock, Mario Van Peebles, Judd Nelson, who, if you don't know who Judd Nelson is, he was in The Breakfast Club. He plays like the rebel in The Breakfast Club. The budget was $8 million. It grossed $47.6 million. It was distributed by Warner Brothers. It premiered at Sundance Film Festival, and it was originally supposed to be a story about Nicky Barnes, but then they rewrote it and it became New Jack City.
Yep.
And the co-writer, Barry Michael Cooper, he's the one that told Teddy Riley to name his genre New Jack Swing after New Jack City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He was the one that was like, yeah, maybe you should, da-da-da-da. And then, of course, you get Cash Money Records, which is named after the Cash Money brothers. Lil Wayne has the Carter series, which is named after the Carter Complex. So the impact is there, but, like, really it's just a fucking fun, quotable movie.
It really is.
Rock-a-bye, baby.
Because why would you say that?
And say it like that.
Like, what does that even mean? Like,
cancel this bitch. Cancel this bitch. Get that money.
Yo, nah.
Just keep calling me, man. I don't know what you're doing. Just keep calling me, girl. I'm trying to get off the shit, sir. Then everybody had to be naked in there while they was packing the drugs. Like, damn, y'all was stealing the shit?
Yeah, but you ain't want that shit on your clothes. You ain't want to go outside smelling like that shit. Because then you making it hot now.
You are making it. Well, then maybe they shouldn't be doing it.
They shouldn't be doing it. I agree.
Maybe they shouldn't be doing illegal things.
I am my brother's keeper.
If I'm going down, everybody's going to go down.
God damn it. That movie is really funny. It's not funny.
It's fun. It's a funny ass movie. Then he in the middle of the spot. He over there threatened everybody. He did in the middle of the spot. We get lit. Go fuck his brothers. Girl, you just no good.
Yo.
Nino Brown, you ain't no good. Killed him in the hallway.
Ain't no
Got that
fucking
nigga in the
good.
hallway. You're done.
Don't wake me, I'm dreaming. I'm listening to that in the car. Shout out to Christopher Williams.
No, for real.
You
He
did
ate
that, my guy.
Yeah, you ate that.
that.
And then you have Juice, which, I mean, to me, I think Juice is born without Tupac.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't give a fuck.
Raheem's dead. Somebody shot him.
Man, Raheem's dead.
Somebody shot him. Type shit. Like, why are you so chill? Okay.
Nigga was chilling. Yo, he was almost irritated that the cop walked up on him, man.
Raheem's dead. Somebody shot him.
What else? Juice is just shooting a nigga in the elevator?
Insane. Like, it was never that deep. Like,
Boom.
it was never that deep.
It was never that serious. But I mean, he was a psycho. Would you say he was a psychopath or a sociopath? I think he was a psychopath.
Yes.
Psychopath?
Psycho.
Yeah, I feel like he was definitely.
Yeah, he was gone. And he said he didn't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Close the locker. A lot of shit was going on in high school, huh? So in the 90s, you really get the emergence of Denzel Washington as an actor. Like, yes, he emerged in the 80s. Yeah, he was doing TV. He was doing film. One of the films he did in the late 80s, you are going to cover. But really, it's in the 90s that he starts to explode. But then after Malcolm X, he does, quite a few films. Like, if you look up his filmography, that nigga was working.
He was outside.
That nigga was working. But in 1995, he does Dell in a Blue Dress, which is a film that I don't think gets talked about enough. And I can understand why. It's a very neo-noir film. Think like LA Confidential. Like, it's very like you should be smoking a cigarette and trying to solve a crime. Like,
Listening to jazz.
yeah, like it's one of those type of films. So I can understand, because at that time I don't think like neo noir is still a genre, but by that point it was like, niggas ain't really fucking with that. And then you have The Preacher's Wife, also in 1995, which is more of like a comedy, family friendly type film. Of course, it has Whitney Houston in it, and it's about like he plays this angel who's coming to like help this family. Honestly, not one of my favorite movies, and I like Devil in the Blue Dress because of like just the I like neo-noir work any kind of way, like that's kind of my bag.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it just kind of showed the diversity and range of his acting, how he could do something like a Malcolm X or do something like a Philadelphia, and then turn around and do a Devil in a Blue Dress, and then do The Preacher's Wife. That to me was always just so cool, the fact that Denzel could show his range time and time again, and he really displayed that in the 90s.
Yeah, and then speaking about range, and we had talked about it earlier with Denzel, how at the start of his career he had like very serious roles, and one of his most iconic, in my opinion, and serious roles was in the movie Glory. So, really, really, really good movie. If you're a history nerd, you've seen it.
It is a great film.
Yeah.
And it's actually interesting because like he ended the 80s with Glory, and then he has this run through the 90s, and then by the end of the 90s He Got Game with Spike Lee. And I really enjoyed watching the movie because it showed the maturity of both Denzel and Spike. Like, Spike is getting older. Denzel is getting older. So now Denzel, yes, can play the father of Ray Allen.
Right.
Like,
It makes sense.
And it makes sense.
And he looks like a dad.
Like he looks like he can play someone's father. And to me, I feel like it's more modern. I think that's when you start to see the shift in their work go from more auteur to like we're making entertainment. Yeah. I think it's more of a quieter performance from Denzel. And I think you're starting to get to a point where you're starting to see him as the OG. Like now you're starting to see like, oh wow, people really respect.
He's a vet.
He's a
now.
vet.
Yeah.
He's locked the fuck in. Like, and that's why I love He Got Game, because I think it's a sports film and I love sports films. And it's just, it's so fly and so cool.
It's cool as fuck.
Yeah, but also I love seeing Denzel like really being a dad and being something kind of unlike the previous characters that he was playing.
Jesus.
So also in the 90s, you get this emergence of Black women in cinema.
Love it.
And do. Whether they're directing or whether they're acting, you're starting to see this rise of just a whole bunch of different, like you have some dramatic, some comedic, some they can fall in between anywhere. You even have musicians who are starting to transition into film. So I guess the first one that always comes to mind for me, or rather, I'll start off with the first one because we can get that. But in 1991, there's a film by the name of Daughters of the Dust by Julie Dash. And to me, it's like the original Eve's Bayou. Is it Bayou? Bayou?
I think it's Bayou, but
right?
I've heard
Eve's
it both.
Bayou.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Eve's Bayou. That sounds a little bit more southern, but to me, it's like the original Eve's Bayou. It talks about like Gullah Geechee culture. It's a staple. Gullah Geechee girl here. It's a staple in independent filmmaking, and it's so instrumental because of how it's shot. It reminds me a lot of Solange's work that she's done visually, of just this very abstract, very like you understand what's going on, the cultural significance, but it does feel very like abstract and otherworldly. Even a lot of like Beyonce stuff in Lemonade kind of reminds me of Daughters of the Dust. But I think the cinematography is just absolutely beautiful. The story is cool too. I appreciate it for a cultural standpoint. Yeah. It's not something I would probably watch like all the time, but it is a film that I appreciate for just the landmark in independent filmmaking it is. And then in 95, we get like a real moment with Forrest Whitaker's Waiting to Exhale. Of course, that was an adaptation of the book. An all-star cast.
Yes. Soundtrack, amazing.
Oh, fucking iconic. Babyface, you legend, you. You legend, you. I guess what I love about Waiting to Exhale, outside of the iconic scenes, you know, her walking away with the cigarette after burning his shit. You're the motherfucking
Yo, that's my favorite scene. That's
a good man, Savannah. That's a good
man. The merry man.
You raggedy bitch.
He threw the fuck out of them oranges.
Or the scene when what's the name when Whitney's character was Bernice, right? Or Bernadette? No, Bernadette was Angela
Bassett.
What was
Savannah?
Savannah, yes. When Savannah was sleeping with that man and he was making,
oh my God.
She was like, yes, we are in a zoo. Like, yeah, we've all had that experience.
Please.
It's a lot. Just calm down. Just relax. So we're gonna be cooking some green eggs. We're gonna be some collard greens. We're gonna be baking some yams. We're gonna have
some macaroni cheese,
some ham,
roast and some ham, some fried chicken deviled eggs,
potato salad. I hope he ain't looking, Lord. I hope he ain't looking as I'm walking away.
Yo, the walk.
I hope he ain't looking as I'm walking away. And then when it was.
Yeah.
So many iconic scenes, but I love it because I love that it just showed that Black women can be messy and angry and bitter and petty and complex and we can be all of it. And that's what makes our sisterhood the way it is. Like, because ultimately you're trying to find love, but these women ultimately find themselves, like you said.
Yeah, because they're all from different walks of life, and through each of these romantic experiences that they're having, they're all different. You know, so it's just interesting to see the character development. How, you know, you have a single mom of a teenage boy, and hasn't been with anyone in a while, and then you have the young, I guess, like, because how was she the youngest one? The one,
Layla Roshan's character? I think she was the youngest.
She was the youngest one, so she found herself in situationships and trying to figure that out. Then we have Whitney Houston dealing with a married man, and then
and she was a successful woman.
She was a TV producer.
You ain't gotta mess with no married man, girl. You can find somebody.
Like, come on.
But everybody gotta learn.
And that's really what it was about. Like, no matter how successful you are, no matter how old you are, life is a learning experience.
Yeah, and so is love.
And niggas ain't shit.
That part. But then a year later, you get the complete opposite of Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah.
It's not warm. It's not in Arizona. They were out in Arizona, I think. Yeah, that was Arizona.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. It's not Arizona. These aren't women who, like, you know, are in some way middle class. No. These bitches are here to set shit off. They don't give, what's the motherfucking procedure? Period.
Yeah.
But
oh my God, these were the kick-up girls.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. They would have kicked
That's some North shit. It was the
motherfucking teacher. But Set It Off, directed by F. Gary Gray, who this was his second film after Friday. Friday came out the year before in 95, and then he came back with Set It Off in 96. He would go on to do The Italian Job, Be Cool, Straight Outta Compton, and even The Fate of the Furious, which is the most highest grossing film in the Fast and Furious franchise. But it's never been a favorite film of mine. I hate that death scene with Cleo. Like, it's over fucking kill. Did you really need to put that many bullets in one person? And then it's just heartbreaking because it feels so real because she's tightening up and then she's leaning over. She make that face, she like, and then she like sees up and then she falls to the side. It's just...
She acted her ass off.
She did, but my God, it's so traumatizing.
It's very traumatizing.
Like, even the scene, what's that? Stoney escape. What was Kimberly Elise's character's name?
Tiana.
I don't remember no Tiana.
It was something T. It was something.
I forgot her name, but then she in the back seat, she all dying. Oh, go see my son.
Her son,
like,
yeah.
like wrap this shit up.
This was a lot. That movie was very overstimulating.
Very overstimulating.
It was a lot going on,
and it's just like, what was like? Did we really need to rob the bank? No. But I guess you have to get ins to pay a lawyer if you want to sue.
I'm in a bind, Nate. I'm in a bind. She was mad as hell. I'm in a bind, Nate.
But yeah, I mean, it's I can understand how their circumstances will lead them to be violent. Like, and I think it was great because so often you see men being led to being violent, and it's like, no, like women can be violent too. We can be inherently.
I wonder if that new Boots Riley movie. I love Boosters. I wonder if that is like.
I don't think it's giving that.
It's not going to give that.
But I definitely think it's giving like women can be like we can be. We don't have to fit your idea of femininity and womanhood. Like fuck you.
I wonder if there's going to be like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Eve's Bayou, which came out in 1997, which I've always just loved that movie just because it plays upon this idea. I told you, I think of it as more of a thriller than like a drama or anything like that because it plays upon your memory, what you remember, what you think you remember, what you don't remember. Even with her using her spiritual powers at the end, she still never fully knew what happened that night, and she couldn't go off of the perspective of a man who was now no longer here and then her sister. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite movies. It always reminds me of like my family and like going down south to South Carolina or North Carolina, and it's like snakes in the grass, and it just always felt like this
some real down home.
Yeah, it just down south just always feels like a mystical world.
It is.
It is
because of so much.
Yeah, it is. But it just always felt like just this like there's an energy down there, and I think that it comes through this film. And even Cassie Lemons, the way she fucking directed this film, like the colors, the characters, and how colorful. I mean, Journey Smollett, like she like as a child actress,
I love her. I love her.
She has been batting 10 since a fucking kid.
She was like 3.
I need her to have her Michael B. Jordan moment. Absolutely. I need a role for her where she gets her Oscar because she's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I really like Eve's Bayou because it opens the door up for people to experience hoodoo and like Southern spirituality. And like for those who don't know, hoodoo is actually like a closed practice. It's like if you weren't born into it, if your family didn't practice it, you don't know anything about it. And I feel like now where we are in society, Black people are coming into that spiritual awakening again, where we're learning about our spiritual roots and our religious roots, and a lot more people are starting to practice hoodoo. And it's like, this is one of those movies where you can go back and see how powerful those types of things actually were and how it was used in everyday life. So
yeah, it was dope.
I love it.
And what's the name? Diane Carroll that's Diane Carroll as the aunt, right? I think that is Diane Carroll as the aunt. I actually will look that up really quickly because I want to be super clear. I think that's Diane Carroll.
I think so.
Playing the aunt. No, that was... Yes, that is.
It was her.
No, that was Debbie Morgan playing the aunt. Yeah, it was Diane Carroll who played the witch.
She played the practitioner,
Yeah, the practitioner that they had went to go see. But yeah, like her in that role, like that stayed with me. That I was just like, oh my God.
And Lynn Whitfield.
Yeah, playing the mom.
She always
Samuel L. Jackson as the dad. You got Megan Good as the sister. We don't know if she lying or not. With your little fast ass. I don't know if you lying. But yeah, Casey Lemons deserves more flowers. And if you don't know who Casey Lemons is, she plays the black friend in Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then we have Reginald Hudlin. Mm-hmm. And he's known for movies like House Party, Boomerang. Mm-hmm. What else did he do?
He's done a lot. Honestly, Reginald has done a lot in production. Yeah. He's done a lot in writing, directing, and award shows, films. I mean, he is one of those, like, if you're a black person trying to break into Hollywood, if you don't know who Reginald Hudlin is, baby, this might not be the industry.
Yeah. You might have to go sit down somewhere.
Yeah,
a little bit. That. But in 92, so in 92, he released Boomerang. Just the cast alone of Boomerang, all-star cast. You have Eddie Murphy, Robin Givens, Halle Berry, David Allen Greer, Grace Jones, Martin Lawrence, Eartha Kitt, Chris Rock, Tisha Campbell, Lila Rashawn. Like, the list goes on and on and on. And one of the things that was so cool about this movie is it gives an insight look into nuanced relationship and corporate America with black people. Yeah. And black dating and what it looks like. It also talks about what black male friendship looks like and the differences in that. And it's a niche but classic romance.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the scenes that I always think about when I think about the movie is when the feet check.
Him and them goddamn feet, you lifting up the... Like, why are you looking at somebody's feet, nigga? What your feet look like?
Yo, that's a thing. That's really... Niggas really be caring about women having their feet done and stuff, and all their toes be black.
This is not the podcast for that, but I definitely have a moment where somebody did something with my feet and it was weird.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk after.
Yeah.
But definitely feet check. Love should have brought your ass home. That's a great scene.
It is a great scene.
You gotta coordinate. See, niggas, you gotta coordinate. You gotta make sure your colors coordinate.
It's funny because we said this movie was like Eddie Murphy's Get Bitches movie.
It was his Get Bitches.
It was his Get
Prior
Bitches
to
movie.
this, would I have personally fucked Eddie Murphy? No. Now during this, I probably would have fucked Eddie Murphy.
You get it.
Like, I could see Marcus. I mean, even when I was researching, they said they wanted him to be the black Cary Grant. So they wanted him to be seductive and cool and fly. And you see that in general towards the end of the 80s, early 90s, where black men are cool, they fly. I got my Kango on, I got my suit on. Like, dressing kind of how they're dressing now. I know y'all trying to give that credit to JFK Jr., but...
Please.
Like, kind of how everybody's dressing now is like they want to be cool, they want to be fly, they want to be comfortable. As my man Michael B. Jordan put it, comfortable luxury. But if y'all make a Boomerang remake and y'all put him in it, like,
who you want to be?
Angela.
You want to be Angela? I'll let that for you.
But yeah, Boomerang is one of my favorite movies. In my world, it's like how I would envision my romance. But I think I'm Angela in my world, so yeah, maybe I'm just delusional.
No.
You don't think so?
You're not the problem. You're not the problem. You're not the problem.
It's not me.
But the budget for the movie was $14 million and it grossed $131 million. Yeah.
Big bank.
People love this movie.
They did. And I mean, it's actually funny because, like, Eddie came out and was like, yeah, people were, like, shocked. Like, oh, you're showing black people in corporate? Like,
yes.
Yes, black people exist.
Yes.
In corporate. They do.
Yes.
But Eddie reached out to Reginald, because this was Eddie's shit he was kind of working on with his production people and his collaborators. And he reached out to Reginald Hudlin after he saw a movie that came out 2 years prior, and that movie was House Party. There's, like, again, House Party is not a movie you really need to do, like, some in-depth analysis on, but what I love about House Party is, to me, it's the definitive, like, film about black youth and how fun it can be, how dangerous it can be, how, like, just you're going out and you're exploring yourself, you're finding yourself. It's such a fun movie.
So fun.
I mean, the fucking dance scene is iconic.
The colors.
You could just do the dance and everybody just knows what we're doing. Stop bumping my table, man. The amount of DJs whose sections I've been in who have had to say, yo, stop bumping the table. Yo, can y'all move out the section? Yo, like, calm down. Bilal, like, the fuck?
If I was a DJ, nobody would be fucking. I'm overstimulated. I'm doing too much shit. Move.
Everybody needs to move, nigga. Move.
Elbow room.
The film was distributed by New Line Cinema, who you'll hear a lot about because they produced a lot of the nigger shit, if we're being quite honest. The budget was $2.5 million and it grossed $26.4 million. Mm-hmm. And in 2022, the film was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. So, you know, it's nice to see that such a lighthearted like film was able to, one, be commercially successful, but two, but to also be, you know, considered like something that is historically and culturally significant to us, because it is. I mean, everybody knows House Party.
Everybody knows House Party.
But I think just like overall, like talking about these films, I had so much fun talking about these films.
I was very excited about this episode. I'm like, it's going to be mad fun.
Because it's like, not only were these films, whether they were dramatic, whether they were comedy, or they were family, neo-noir, whatever the fucking case it may be, like these films were entertaining. They were well written. They were well directed. They were well acted, maybe on different levels. Like New Jack City isn't on Malcolm X's level, but as far as the cultural impact, as far as like visibility for Black people, original storytelling, ownership. Like a lot of these films were independent, or they were like distribution deals type of situations. And look at how much money we were making. We're fucking marketable. Our stories are marketable, especially when you give us more to play with. Yeah, we can do a movie about a fucking house party and a kid trying to sneak out to go. Yeah, we can do a movie about a whore in corporate who like ends up falling for like the girl in marketing. And yeah, we can do a movie about the Cash Money brothers and them trying to just sell crack and like make it out. And I am my brother's keeper. You know, we can make films about iconic leaders that maybe you didn't see or you may have not known, but to us, they mean the world. We can make movies about Black women who are trying to find love in the different circumstances they're in, or even say fuck the system and rob banks because the system fucked me over. Like our layered storytelling, it was inspired by, I think, the politics. It was definitely inspired by like, you know, the change in society. But ultimately, I think our taste was starting to change.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that ultimately we weren't being subjected to just let's fight the man movies or let's get a white person in this movie so it's marketable. No, we are marketable. We can sell our own stories. We can make our own stories. We can write, we can direct, we can produce, we can make these money moves. And we got the taste to give you unique storytelling.
And when you asked me the question last night, like, what do I think was the catalyst? At first, my brain, it literally went politics, taste, and then ownership. Because I'm like, a lot of these movies were about social injustices and social issues and the politics. That was the theme of it. But then within that, it's like that's where the taste comes from. It's like, how do we show how we're being affected by all of this social injustice and all of these politics and all of these policies? How let's show how we're being affected by it, but let's also tell it our way. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's not have them do it. Yeah. How it was for the blaxploitation shit. It's like, let's not have them do it. Let's do it. And that's where the ownership part comes in. It's like ownership, in terms of them putting out the money to do it and owning the rights to these movies and everything, but it's ownership like, we are telling our own stories. Let us do it in our way. Yeah. So,
yeah, our taste informed what we wanted to own.
Literally.
Yeah, and that was our own story, really. And then we not only see that in film, but then we see that in TV. Yep. Which is really exciting.
Very exciting.
It was a good episode.
It was.
Dang. Close me out, Mick.